Tyrell, thank you so much for jumping on the call with me. I'm so excited to jump into your course careers experience. Congratulations again for going through the course, graduating through the course, and landing your first role outside of course careers, outside of school. First things first, I kind of want to learn a little bit more about the role that you landed, and then I think we can dive into a little bit more about, your experience with course careers.
So it's an after hours logistics coordinator position with Agreco. So they provide power solutions all over across the world. And my particular role, what I'm going to mainly be doing is sourcing the equipment, seeing which location it is, where it is, and then seeing how can we get it from point A to point B,
Awesome, man.
basically.
Logistics
Yeah.
101 right there. So you're going to be working
Yeah.
with suppliers and getting products from one place to the next?
Oh, it's not really suppliers. We already have it because
Oh,
they have multiple locations across the globe. It's just seeing where each product is and getting it to the customer.
okay. Got it. So internal moves going down.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
more last mile type
Uh,
logistics.
I won't say last mile. There's long haul,
Okay.
short haul. Sometimes
Nice.
we're going from just location, and some other times it's going from location to customer, and that could be miles apart.
Okay. Good
Yeah.
deal, man. That's awesome. So let's talk about your experience before landing this role. Talk a little bit about the roles that you had, any prior education, any prior certifications that helped set you up outside of course careers for this.
I had one particular role at Golf Balls. It was a customer service job, but
Okay.
over time it was slowly morphing into me looking at the logistics and the shipping department. So seeing how we're doing on our shipments, seeing are they going out on time, are they going out with the right cost, and then that really wanted me to go. That really what started me to go into supply chain. And at that time, I was learning like what is supply chain. And
Yep.
that's when I noticed all my experience kind of carried over to that. And then unfortunately, they had to let me go because of some budget cuts. But I went to Amazon doing a driver position. I think that was useful as well because it taught you all the insights on why your package might be late, why is it damaged, and then think that helped me get this new role because I kind of saw from both sides, both as a company and as a driver.
Isn't it crazy how every company that you work with kind of has this supply chain backbone,
Mm.
right? That
Oh yeah.
I think people don't realize is that supply chain
Mm.
really touches everything. So you were working in customer service, but recognize that, hey, we're moving products from point A to point B. And the more you kind of dig
Mm.
into that, you kind of see that supply chain is everywhere. So that
Yeah.
position at Golf Balls and Amazon really ignited that passion to pursue supply chain.
Yeah, I definitely say so. And
Yeah.
even farther back, I worked at FedEx,
Okay.
taking packages out the warehouse. I just didn't know that supply chain had a name to it. I was just like, oh, this
Yeah.
is just manual labor. I didn't
Yeah.
know where it could lead me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think more people these days are kind of
Mm-hmm.
recognizing that supply chain is a thing ever since COVID,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
the stores, they had empty shelves and they hear about supply chain struggles and things of that nature. I think people are starting to realize how important
Mm-hmm.
supply chain is. And now you're having conversations about tariffs. So supply chain's back on the forefront. So
Mm-hmm.
um, talk a little bit about your education and background. I see that you just graduated with your undergraduate, right?
Oh, yeah, I was in general studies. I was kind of confused on what I wanted to do. So I kind of have a little bit of everything under my belt with that
Nice.
degree.
Nice. Yeah, very cool. Kind of a large breadth
Mhm.
of trying to figure out where you wanted to go. Um,
Yeah.
I think that's fantastic. So
Mhm.
how did you find course careers?
Um, you hear from different sponsors. I'm mainly on YouTube, so I heard
Okay.
it through sponsorships, and then you mainly hear for the more IT side of it. And then one day I was just on there scrolling because I was actually looking for somebody else to put them on with the IT certification. I just saw supply chain coordinator. I was like, I should really take advantage of this because it's kind of more cheaper than the more expensive supply chain certification. So I was like, if I like this one and I finish it, then maybe I'll move on to the more expensive ones.
Yeah, there's a ton of
Mhm.
supply chain certification, certified supply chain professional, things of that nature. I
Yeah.
think those run you like $1,500.
Yeah.
They can get very expensive. So being able
Hmm.
to launch this course, that's, it kind of gets into the ins and outs of being able to coordinate the supply chain. I think is a huge help. Did you happen to watch the intro video about what the course is, what supply chain is, and did you kind of start there or did you dive right in?
Uh, Funny enough, I actually bought it on a whim
Oh
because
man.
I don't know, I was having a bad day. I was like, I need to go somewhere with my life. Um, yeah, because during that time when I was unemployed, I was just like, I need to, get my brain moving. And then
Yeah.
I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy it. So I went to the store, bought a notebook, and then I bought the course later on. Then that's what made me get on boots on the ground running.
Heck yeah, man. So
Yeah.
bought the notebook, got into the course. So what are some of the things that you learned that were definitely applicable to the interview and kind of set you up for success?
I think this is kind of advice for everyone is this go back over your experience and see like or how you were interacting with a team. So even something small as retail could really be beneficial. So those product placements, why certain products are in front of the store, why certain products are in back of the store. Manufacturing, that was where before call falls, the customer service role, I was in the warehouse and then dealing with production. So I feel that everyone should just go back and look at their experience because I feel like no matter what you do, you will learn something um, beneficial.
Yeah, agreed. And the interesting thing about supply chain, and so many folks have this experience, is that it truly is the relationship business. I think you're
Mhm.
probably starting to see this where you're working with warehouse managers, you're looking at inventory, you could be working with sales, you could be working with customers. And if you have an ability to build those relationships, those are transferable skills directly into supply chain, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So awesome. Anything else in the course that you're kind of seeing? I know this is week one, right?
Yes. Yeah. Still orientation, basically.
Okay.
Mhm.
Did they talk about sustainability at all? I know we kind of talked about that a little bit. Are they
Uh,
looking into any different types of packaging, electric truck, anything like that? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, actually, they have like a on you go on their website. There's like a full brochure about their sustainability and where they want to take it within the next few years. Especially since they're an electrical power company.
Nice. Awesome.
Mhm.
So you went through the course, you took all the notes, you went through the quizzes, you took the final. How did you feel about the final? Did you feel like you were prepared going in to find that new job?
Oh yeah, for the finals, I definitely felt prepared because I took it as soon as I finished the last course that needed to take it. So I felt very well prepared.
Good. Good. So for landing the job, how many applications did you put out there? What was your strategy? What was your approach to being able to find the role that you ended up finding?
Well, actually, me and the company kind of had a previous experience because I applied maybe like a year or so back,
Okay.
but then the application process kind of took a little longer than expected, and then I had to accept another role. And then, but after taking the course, I was like, I really want to pursue this further. And actually, they reached back out to me, seeing if I was still interested because it became available again. But
Awesome.
I still think that I had to go in the interview and prove myself. So that's why I feel what the course came into play and really knowing all the stuff about the supply chain, particularly the TMS. I think that TMS was really big because that was almost day one stuff that they taught us.
Mm-hmm. Tyrell, so tell me a little bit more about the role. It's an entry level role. Tell us a little bit more about what prospective students, prospective course career graduates can expect getting into a logistics coordinator, a supply chain coordinator role from a salary perspective, and the benefits on top of that.
Yeah. Well, Course Careers has it at 55,000, particularly starting out, and that's exactly where I ended up. And since it's a nighttime after hour shift, there will be a nighttime incentive, which brings it up to about 62, 63,000 a year plus benefits.
Oh, gotta love that, man. Congratulations.
Mm,
That's huge.
man.
Yeah, I think, this kickstarts the rest of your career, right? You're in on
Mm-hmm.
supply chain now. And the great thing, and I think my favorite part of supply chain is that you have the opportunity to work in so many different parts, right? You have experience in operations. Now you have experience in logistics. This could open up the door if you want to go into more of a planning and do kind of sales and operations planning or demand and supply planning, or if you want to get into a sales side, it opens so many doors down the road. And for you to get in on this so early in your career, huge kudos to you, man.
Yeah.
So, I guess I'll finish it up with one more question. Any piece of advice that you would give for somebody who is thinking about taking a CourseCareers course, or if they're considering supply chain or supply chain coordinator, any advice that you would like to give anybody who's considering it?
Um, I would say, particularly if you're gonna go on the supply chain one, I think you will get a lot out of it. I feel that it's a good starter for once you can find your first role, and then after you find your first role, then maybe you can go for those more advanced ones. Or with supply chain, you might not even need those advanced ones. You just do a lot of on-the-job training. I feel this one was very beginner. You get your feet wet across the whole supply chain life cycle.
Awesome, man. Cool. Any
Yeah.
other thoughts that you want to share before we close out?
I would say that's about it on my end.
Awesome, man. Hey, well, really appreciate you jumping on here again. Congratulations. I'm sure we're going to be talking. I want to keep you engaged as
Hmm.
we continue on with this course, and as we have more graduates, more folks landing jobs. We really just want to create a big supply chain community here, man.